Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. So, Guyana had their election on September 1st. We got results in. And really, this is, before we continue, this is not the best election for conservatives, as, well, it's never the best election for conservatives, to be honest. Guyana is a progressive country. For a period of its history, I want to believe, right when it became independent, it was a socialist country. It was, I want to believe, the only socialist English-speaking country in the Western world. I don't count Grenada, though. Grenada was Marxist-Leninist. But I'm talking about socialist. But yes, we have... So obviously it's not socialist anymore by government. They do have socialism in their constitution. But Guyana has really, politically, has not really made any shifts to the right. There are hardly any conservative parties. I'm specifically looking at the two parties right here. You got, of course, the People's National Congress Reform. You got this party. So all these political parties are left-leaning. And I don't think Guyana has ever had and they haven't, they have never had a conservative leader. So it's important to project the news that Irfan Ali has won re-election. He is the second Muslim president of South America. Trinidad and Tobago holds that record of having the first Muslim president of South America ever. Actually, well, okay. It depends, because I don't count Trinidad and Tobago as South America. That's just me. I call it as North America. But if I think you want to say Irfan Ali, he's probably the first American Muslim. But obviously, that he holds that record. Oh, yes, he's in the Americas. But yeah, he is going to win re-election. This goes into no surprise. And how Guyana elects their president is kind of weird, though, to be quite honest with you. They elect it by a parliamentary system, okay? So basically, I'm sure we know how a parliamentary system works. So I'm not going to do much to explain, but basically, if your party wins the most seats and crosses through the threshold, guess what? You are the winner. And in this case, the PPP has crossed the threshold of 33 seats, and they have a majority. That, of course, is 36 seats, 3 seats. You need 33 seats to win. Ali comes from the People's Progressive Party, and that party historically used to be communist, and it's, of course, communism's allegedly gone, so they say. This is according to historians. They are more center-left. I'll tell you right now, I am not picking sides in this election. I would support neither. But really, obviously, this was a win for the progressive side. I want to believe. You also have the WIN party. It stands for We Invest in Nationhood. And I would say, yeah, this is definitely a left-wing political party. They are the main opposition party. So, yes, you got the results here, and it's a little different map here, but you got different scatter results. So you see the seats in red are Ali's seats, Ifran Ali's seats. Then you have some seats that are tied, like this district right up here. You have, these two are tied, these three. And you got mainly the South being mainly a progressive stronghold. I think overall they're all progressive strongholds, you know. But this is the national list. When you take a look at who won seats, the PPP has 36 seats. You have Azadin Mohammed. He won 16 seats. That is, I want to believe, yeah, this is a new party, I want to believe. When did it, yeah, this is, yes, it replaced a party, yeah, it replaced this political party, which is more Big Tent, which, I mean, hey, the best you can get in Guyana when it comes to conservatism is Big Tent, which is, okay, even though Big Tent's probably in Guyana, all different variations of left-wing ideologies, from socialism, anarch-capitalism, authoritarian leftism, Marxist-Leninism. So what difference does it make? But this party pretty much was founded in 2011. It is basically a replacement for... It was replaced by this party. I don't know if it's not operating anymore. It's basically crashed to absolutely nothing. Well, actually, they do have seats in the assembly. But you could say, okay, yeah, you can't necessarily say, though, that this is a new seat, so they didn't necessarily gain anything. They have 16 seats. But, yeah, you got Afran Ali. He got 36 seats. The net worth, seat change of 3. So he's gaining. Comparing the results from 5 years ago, where Afran Ali was elected, you'll see that the net worth was just 1. So his party is gaining, okay? So it's pretty much guaranteed that, well, I would say it's guaranteed, because honestly, if the WIN party continues to gain momentum, despite being a new political party, they will... the status quo there is still set here. But obviously, 55% coming out to vote for the main progressive ruling party. It shows that people are satisfied with the leadership in Guyana, even though, really, I would say 2020, they had, coming from 2020, they had some sort of rough leadership. Yeah, you also had the PNCR, which was this political party right here. They ended up performing some kind of okay, I guess. Yeah, they claimed majority by just 1 seat. That's surprising. 31 seats. They lost 2. But yes, this is pretty much... Normally, I mean, you got different variations of leftism in Guyana. And really, politics in Guyana is basically split between just libertarianism and authoritarianism. That's really how you define, because that's how the political spectrum goes in Guyana. I mean, it's left-wing, and you will get nothing more than just left-wing. Would you prefer anarchism, well, I would say different variant, like authoritarianism and libertarianism. But this obviously goes to no surprise, as Guyana is a very left-wing country. But yes. Anyway, I mean, I'm not really surprised with the results. There's nothing really to talk about other than this guy's an incumbent. I think he had a good smooth term, 5 years. He's going to continue to be president of Guyana. There's not been really much to challenge here. I do want to believe, though, the good news that this guy did was this guy ended up getting he ended up resulting to closer ties with the United States, which is actually good, for once. Because in 2023, I think under Joe Biden, of course, a progressive, smooching with the progressive, Guyana ended up, because a lot of people don't know this, but the United States used to be enemies with Guyana. Why? Guyana was socialist, obviously, during the time of Nixon. It was also where Jim Jones built his own little cult, so that already had a negative reputation over there. But obviously, the United States in 2023 decided to switch sides because obviously Venezuela has been making the news lately. Venezuela is not our friend anymore. They used to be our friend until the Maduro regime took over. And ever since, well, not the Maduro regime, Hugo Chavez regime, technically, 1999. And before pre-1999, we supported Venezuela and their right to take over this area. The area in the light green. And that is basically called the Essequibo region. Which is a territorial dispute over this said area. Most of Guyana, we said, this used to be under the Viceroy of Spain, Venezuela, or the Viceroy of Venezuela. It used to be a part of Venezuela until, I don't know if Britain defeated Spain in a war or Spain just gave it to Britain, but they gave it to Britain because Guyana used to be a part of Britain. And there you go. You got Guyana becoming independent. And now Venezuela, ever since Guyana's independence, is saying, hey, look, we want this region. And the United States has backed Venezuela because Guyana is socialist. Socialism bad. Venezuela was somewhat conservative. But things switch around, and Venezuela becomes socialist, okay? They become socialist in 1999. And ever since that, we've become more neutral. But then again, Chavez and Maduro have been, been causing troubles, human rights abuse, cartels, yada, yada, yada. And we say, you know what? Screw it. We're just going to support Guyana now. Guyana never really had problems with human rights abuse, although they were socialists. And we said, okay, Guyana, let's do a reset. We're going to support you. It doesn't mean we're necessarily allies with Guyana, but we're going to tolerate them. And under this president, like it or not, I don't necessarily not a fan of this guy, but relations soared to historic highs. Although people will argue to say that, relations are going down because of Trump and mass deportations, and they want to kick dirt over that. But, the relationship between the United States and Guyana are not necessarily designed to be good. A lot of people think it's supposed to be designed to be good. No, it's not. We are not going to, like Ukraine, that's funny because United States and Ukraine, they say, Ukraine's our ally. Ukraine and United States relations were never, ever, ever, ever built to be friendly. We were never meant to be friends with Ukraine. And they were acting like, because Ukraine got invaded by our enemy, we're now friends with them. No. That's not how it works. But, we're going to have our moments with Guyana, and, we've had a rough past with them. But anyway, I got into some history, mainly because there's nothing really much to talk about other than the seats on this map. But we can talk about, unless there are polls. Yeah, there's nothing much to talk about. But anyway, what do you guys think in regards to this video? Let me know down below, and as always, I'll see you all in the next political episode.